What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 3, Music City Matrimony. Now, let's start off with Jasmine and Eris. It is their wedding day. I didn't know that Jasmine's dad was a preacher, and I hope that Eris finds out very quickly that her father's a preacher, and I'll tell you why I'm saying that later. So the mint colored bridesmaids dresses, I liked that color of mint, that pale green. I don't know if it's mint or sage or what it is, but I like that pale green. The only thing is, whenever the bridesmaids dresses are light colored, I feel like it doesn't allow the bride's dress to pop. And I think that the purpose of the bridesmaids dresses, one of the reasons or one of the purposes of picking the right bridesmaids dress is that when you're taking the pictures or when they're all standing together, you want the bride to really stand out and you want her dress to really pop. And I think that darker colors or more bolder, brighter colors allow the bridesmaids dress to pop. But I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. So when Eris first saw Jasmine walk around the corner, he was happy. He was very, very pleased. I think he even clapped when he saw her. When they were standing together at the altar, he mentioned about her height, her being tall, or a little bit taller than him. And I'm pretty sure without her heels, maybe they're about the same height, or he may be like a smidge taller, but she did appear a little bit taller than him in her shoes. She looked very, very beautiful. All the brides, I thought, this season looked really beautiful. Sometimes, or most of the time, there's always a bride that I didn't like their hair, or I didn't like their dress, or something. But in this season, I think I liked all of the dresses. I thought all of the brides looked really beautiful. So when they were walking down the aisle after they got married, I kind of got the feels. Every time they walked down the aisle, even though I hate the fact that Married at First Sight makes the episodes so long, 2 long hours, and there's a lot of slow motion, a lot of slow motion to stretch out the time. But whenever they're walking down the aisle after exchanging their vows and they do that slow motion, I get the feels. I'll fall for that every single time. Jasmine, in her one-on-one interview after she got married, she did comment about his height. She said that everything about him was attractive. She liked, his face, his beard. He looked really clean cut. But she did mention that he was a little bit shorter than what she expected. That's fine, girl. That is fine. It's fine. Don't let these little tiny things get in the way of, giving this whole process a chance. So she was impressed by him. So at the reception, no, not before the reception, when they were having their one-on-one conversation, she mentioned it to him that she had 4 dogs. Y'all, I think that's a lot. And we saw one of her dogs in the whatever special when one of the experts came to visit her. Her dogs are not small, okay? They're medium-sized to large-sized dogs. I think are they Labradoodles? But anyways, her dogs are not that small. She's got 4 dogs. I think that when they're interviewing people to be on this show, they have to ask the question of, and I know they do, but they need to go a little bit more in depth. Are you an animal person? Are you a pet person? What is your limit on the number of pets that you are willing to live with, willing to take care of? Most people don't mind having maybe 1, possibly 2. Honey, 4 big dogs. That's a lot. That's like a deal breaker to me. Because if you're going to say I have 4 dogs, you might as well say I have 4 children. That's a lot of responsibility. So he said he was cool with that. He was like, you know what? He wasn't thrilled. You could tell that he really wasn't thrilled, but he was like, you know what? It is what it is. Whatever. So when they were having dinner, they were talking, and then she dropped this on him. She told him that she had 9 puppies because she's also a breeder. Along with being a competitive cheerleading coach, she's also a dog breeder. So she's got 9 puppies who I'm pretty sure she's going to end up selling or giving away or whatever. They're not going to be permanently in their home. But while they are there in their home, he's going to have to help take care of 9 puppies plus 4 big dogs. This is insane. This is insanity to me because that's a lot for someone who doesn't have any animals. That's a lot for them to take on. So I don't know. I also noticed that when they were having dinner, Eris was not making a lot of eye contact with her, and that kind of bothered me. Maybe he was pissed off about the damn, 13 animals that he's about to move in with, but he wasn't making a lot of eye contact with her. He kept on looking straight ahead at the guest and not really looking at her. Even as he was talking to her or she was talking to him, he wasn't looking at her. I didn't understand why. Maybe he was nervous. Maybe he was nervous. Maybe he was pissed off about the damn animals. I don't know, but he really wasn't making eye contact with her. Jasmine's sisters, they get a chance to talk to him. I think that I forgot what their reaction was. They're very protective of Jasmine. Okay, they're very, very protective of Jasmine. It kind of reminded me of Michaela and, I forgot his name, that season with Michaela. And her husband ended up, after they got the divorce, her husband ended up dating one of her castmates, because Michaela's sisters were also very protective of her. One of Jasmine's sisters even said that we are very involved. Girl, that was the wrong thing to say. If that's what y'all are, let him find that out on his own. Don't scare this man off on the wedding day, because nobody wants to marry into a family that's very involved. We don't want that. So then she is talking to his cousin, Felina. Felina is back with her doom and gloom. And Felina is talking to Jasmine, and she was asking Jasmine something, and Jasmine gave an answer. And I didn't think nothing of it, but, leave it to Felina to find a negativity in everything. So Felina says something like, in her little one-on-one camera interview, she said, well, when I asked her blah, 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 the way she answered the question, it was very staged, because she's a beauty queen or a beauty pageant contestant. Her answers were very staged, very like pre-rehearsed or rehearsed or whatever, very robotic. And I'm like, Felina, what are you doing here? Felina, if you are not happy with this process and you're not happy for your cousin, please go home. Nobody dragged you on this show. If this is not your cup of tea and you're against everything, girl, go back home. We don't need you. Go back home. So Jasmine thinks her husband, so her bridesmaids asked her, so what do you think about his looks? Are you attracted? Blah, blah, blah. She says she's definitely attracted to him. She's very happy with who they matched her with. And she said out of a scale of 1 to 10, she gave him a 9.9 only because nobody's perfect. His groomsmen asked him, well, what do you think about her? Of course, he found her attractive. And so they asked him, okay, but how attractive? Like on a scale of if you're going to compare her to Beyonce, and Beyonce's a 10. So on a scale of 1 to Beyonce, he gave her an 8. Was I disappointed that he rated her lower than what she rated him? A little. Okay, a little, because I do want them to work out, but an 8 is very high. And if you think that Beyonce is one of the most beautiful women in the world, then maybe an 8 is also very, very complimentary. Now, she gave him 9.9 out of 10, but compared to what? Kermit the Frog? I don't know. So the groomsmen asked him if on your wedding night, if she comes to you and says, hey, we can do whatever you want. I'm all yours. Your wish is my command. They asked him, what would you say? And he said, I would say drop to your knees. And I was like, Eris, no, sir. No. Her father's a preacher, and he's going to be seeing this. Plus her other family members and possibly your future children, they're all going to be seeing this. What are you doing? Why would you say that on camera? Why would you say that on camera? Maybe he had a little bit too much to drink and he kind of, lost all of his inhibition. I don't know. But we all know that it gets down and dirty in the bedroom. We get it. We understand. We totally understand how it goes down. This is perception versus reality. But you need to give the impression that you're going to respect her a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He could have said, well, I would tell her, this is your night. This is our night, whatever you want, honey. Whatever you want. Your wish is my command. Okay. However you want to approach this, I'm going to follow your lead, or something politically correct like that, instead of, oh, I would tell her to drop to her knees. Her father is going to see this. Moving on. Dominique and McKinley. So Dominique, she's getting ready with her bridesmaids, etc., makeup, hair, all of that. And her bridesmaids ask her, what kind of man does she think they matched her with? Now, Dominique is very outdoorsy. She likes to hunt. She likes to fish. In fact, she was wearing, gold glittery cowboy boots under her wedding gown. So she's very outdoorsy. And so they asked her, well, what if he's a city slicker? You like being out in the woods and out on the water. What if he's a city slicker? And she said, I hope he's adaptable, because I told the experts that I wanted somebody who was adaptable. So I don't know. When I see McKinley, outdoorsy doesn't scream out to me. So yeah, I hope he's adaptable too. Oh, okay. So Mac says he really doesn't want to be matched, or he really wasn't looking forward to being with a woman who was very young, a much younger woman, because he says normally in the past when he dates women in their 20s, they don't have a job, they're not settled, they're not focused, no ambitions, no goals, no nothing. So he's not really looking forward to being with someone who's really young. But from what I hear, Dominique is young. Probably not the age category that he would prefer, but I think she is accomplished. I think one of her bridesmaids mentioned something about how she has her own business or something, and she's, making really good money. So while she's getting ready, Dominique, she's not nervous. She says that she doesn't have any doubts. She's going into this with a positive attitude, because her bridesmaids were like, how could you not be nervous? And she says, well, because I'm just going to go into it, thinking positively and whatever. So Mac is also the one whose girlfriend broke up with him. No, whose girlfriend got engaged to someone else while she was still in a relationship with Mac. So I'm just saying this just to kind of like remind us on, Mac, I don't know if he's still fragile from that, or if he's healed from that, or if that's even going to play any kind of factor in how he deals with Dominique. McKinley's mom would have preferred for him to get married in a more traditional sense. McKinley's mom kind of scares me. She looks like someone who is very serious. She doesn't look very approachable. I don't know how she's gonna view Dominique. I wonder if she's gonna look at Dominique as somebody who maybe is not mature enough for her son, because McKinley does act very mature. He's 30 something years old. He acts like a 30-something-year-old man, like very mature. And Dominique, when we saw her at the bachelorette party and all of this, she's kind of giving off party girl vibes. So I don't know. I hope that his mom is going to be accepting of her. But his mom just seems a little bit icy, just a tad bit cold. So I don't know. So I understand that McKinley said that he had no particular preference when it came to race. He was open to any race. Before he saw Dominique, I was worried if McKinley was really truly open for an African American wife. I was really questioning that, because we didn't hear anything about that he's dated a woman of color in the past, of any color. We didn't hear of that. All we heard was just that one little snippet where it said he told the experts told him that, hey, he's open to any race. He's not particular about race. Some people might say that, but there are certain races that they're not going to date, even though they're open to, someone who's not of their race. They have their limitations and specificities of, okay, I'll date this, but not that, or I'll choose this, but not that. So I was kind of worried, like, is he open to being with an African American or a mixed race woman? But when he saw her, when she walked down the aisle, he was smitten. He thought she was beautiful. And I was like, oh, thank God. He thought she was beautiful. She thought he was attractive. So that first initial look, or their first initial whatever, they were both pleased. And I really like McKinley. I really do. When they were taking the little wedding photos, the photographer told him to dip her. And so the way that he was kind of like trying to like work it out in his mind how he was going to actually, do the dip, I was kind of worried of how it was going to look, but I thought the end result looked pretty okay, so I don't even know why I'm mentioning that, but I liked the fact that they did find each other attractive. So Dominique is talking to his mom and his sister, and his mom once again mentions how she would have preferred for her son to get married the more traditional way. The sister, for some reason, said that she was very supportive of this, but for some reason the sister looked like she was on the verge of tears. So I don't know if those were tears of happiness, tears of sadness, or if she was just overwhelmed by the whole the whole process and the whole wedding, and she's just a very emotional person. But I was trying to figure out, why is the sister on the verge of tears? So Dominique tells his mother that her being, a mixed race woman in the South, she's, encountered some things, and she just hopes that his family will be able to accept her. Now, I wonder why she said that. Did she say that just basically just, based off of, I'm mixed, or I'm black and they're not, so I just hope that they're not going to have an issue with that just because of that? Or was there something that gave her a sign that, kind of told her she needed to say this to his mother and his sister? I'm just asking questions because I just thought that was a little bit unusual for her, like right off the bat, to say, hey, because I'm black, I've experienced some things and I just want to be accepted and I hope that you're going to be able to accept me. I'm just curious, like, why did you feel the need to say that? Why did you need to feel the need to bring that to their attention? Now, if she saw something or if she heard something, okay, that makes sense. But if she didn't, did she just say that automatically whenever she dates someone who's not of her race? I don't know. So McKinley tells her mom. So McKinley talks to her mom and her grandmother, and the mom asked him, what's her name? Dominique's mom asked McKinley, so is your family accepting of a mixed race couple? Are you being married to someone outside of your race? And he said that his parents have no problem with it. His family is very accepting of it. It's all good. So that kind of makes me think that he has dated women outside of his own race and there was no issues there. But like I said, some people might accept certain races and not others. So I don't know if has he dated an African American woman in the past, and was his family really okay with it? I'm just asking questions. Now, Dominique's mom said in her little one-on-one interview, she says, you know what? He seems really, really nice. But then again, Jeffrey Dahmer was nice too. And I was like, damn, lady, why are you comparing him to Jeffrey Dahmer? Like, what? Huh? That was crazy. So later on, her bridesmaids asked her if she's going to be consummating her marriage. And she was like, definitely not. She wants to build a strong foundation. She doesn't want it to be all about sex. And that kind of surprised me, only because at the bachelorette party, Dominique said that she was going to consummate her marriage on the very first night. Or did she say the first one or did she say the honeymoon? But it seemed like Dominique was down. She was down for the cause. She had no reservations about consummating her marriage on the first night and getting down and dirty immediately. So I was a little bit surprised that all of a sudden she wanted to be a little bit more reserved. Is it because she didn't find him attractive, or is it because she does find him attractive and she does really like him, and so she does want to have something real with him? I don't know. Only time will tell. Moving on to Chris and Nicole. Chris and Nicole are both talkers, which is good. Because when they were having dinner together, they were talking. The conversation was definitely flowing. They were talking and they were listening to one another. When the guest tapped their wine glasses, their champagne glasses, which is an indication that they wanted them to kiss, they had no problem kissing each other. They kissed right away. They were very affectionate, a lot of PDA, a lot of kisses, a lot of hand holding. They were constantly like in physical contact with one another. Nicole is getting the vibe that maybe Chris is too nice. She's talking to her bridesmaids and she's like, you know what? He just seems so nice. She's waiting for the other shoe to drop. So she's kind of like having those feelings that this might be too good to be true. Girl, it's not too good to be true. You're probably putting too much into it. Okay, just take it for what it is. Y'all just met, girl. Y'all just met. So it's not too good to be true. He's just putting his best foot forward. He's just trying to be really nice. He likes you. He's letting you know that he likes you. So just don't put a lot of thought into it. Chris meets with her dad. Now, the dad was tough. The dad was really, really tough on him. Asking him a whole bunch of questions. What kind of person are you? Are you a criminal? Are you a bad person? Do you have bad intentions? Blah, blah, blah. So the dad gave him a really tough time. But I thought Chris stood his ground. He was, like, no, I'm not a bad guy and I don't have any bad intentions and I want to marry your daughter. I want to be with your daughter, blah, blah, blah. I'm in this for the right reasons, et cetera, et cetera. I want to be married. I want to be married forever. All of that. The dad still has his doubts. Chris and Nicole both told their bridesmaids and groomsmen respectively that they do not plan on consummating their marriage. Chris is like, you know what? It's not about that. Chris is just like, I don't know. How do I describe Chris? I don't know. He was just because his groomsmen were like, "So y'all gonna get it on tonight?" He was like, "It's not about that." He was like very like serious about it. He says, "That's gonna be her call, and it doesn't really matter to me. It's whatever she wants, but that's not something I'm like looking forward to. I'm looking forward to something a little bit more, whatever. Whatever speech he gave." Chris seems like he's all about her. Like he's really into her. He really likes her. That's what it seems like. Now, I need to know, does he really, really like her, or is he trying to like her? So he's going through the motions, hoping that the feelings will catch up. In their honeymoon suite, they were sitting on the couch or whatever. They were very affectionate. She was all up on him. He was all up on her, arms around each other, kissing constantly. When they went to sleep, they were cuddling. It was a lot of physical touch between these two people. And so they're giving the impression that they really are about one another. Moving on to Gina and Clint. It wasn't too much Gina and Clint, but what I saw, I didn't like. So when they were having their dinner, she talked a lot about her job. And I don't understand how she was not aware of that, how she did not know that's what she was doing. She talked a lot about her damn job, and, he was zoning out. He even said, she talked a lot about her job, and I was trying to get past the work conversation so we can, be on a more personal level. When he's talking to her bridesmaids, I thought one of the bridesmaids kind of appeared, maybe she was kind of tipsy, but she kind of appeared, I don't want to say flirty, but she was like all up in his grill, but maybe I was seeing things. So he's talking to her bridesmaids. Of course, they're asking him a lot of questions, and he ends up bringing up the issue of sex. And he brings it up out of nowhere because they didn't ask him, are y'all going to consummate? Do you find her attractive? What's going to be going down tonight? They didn't ask him anything like that. It seemed like, I could have misheard, but it seemed like just out of nowhere, he said he doesn't want this relationship to revolve around sex. Okay, so why are you bringing it up? Why are we talking about it? So I was kind of perturbed by that. Her talking too much about work, and then him just like trying to, letting the bridesmaids, telling them that, hey, this is not all about sex and blah, blah, blah. And in his little one-on-one interview, he said, when I was younger, that was the goal, is to get the girl in your bed. But he says he's not like that anymore. But you're talking a lot about it. Moving on to Shaquille and Kirsten. Shaquille and Kirsten, to me, are a great match. If only Kirsten would allow this process to work. But she's already putting up barriers. She's already creating doubt in her own mind, and it's getting on my damn nerves. Because the more I see Shaquille, he's kind of growing on me. At first, I was kind of like, I don't know about this. But the more I see him, he's kind of growing on me. Kirsten, you better give this man a damn chance. Don't be all up in your own expectations and your own specificities and all this nonsense. Give this man a damn chance. So when they were having dinner, I thought it was adorable. They were giggling and talking throughout dinner. When they brought the tomato and cheese salad, they both looked at it and they're like, what the hell is this? Because I'm pretty sure they were starving. They're like, what is this? So they kind of said it at the same time, and it was hilarious. And they were just constantly talking and joking around. It was almost as if it was just the two of them in that room and nobody else was around. That's what it seemed like to me. I thought that their personalities clicked so well. They connected so well. They're literally what each other is looking for. He's the man that she's been looking for. She's the woman that he's been looking for. Kirsten said that it was disappointing when Shaquille didn't ask to kiss her, because I think this is when she was in the bathroom. And was this in the bathroom? When she was talking to her bridesmaids, at some point, she said that it was disappointing that he didn't ask to kiss her. But girl, how is he supposed to know that? How is he supposed to know that you wanted him to? So you create these lofty expectations and he doesn't live up to them. And already you're like, okay, this isn't going to work. This is probably not going to work because he did not meet my, very extremely unrealistic high expectations. Not too many groomsmen or not too many grooms are going to ask if they can kiss their bride. Okay, when the officiant says, now you may kiss your bride, and they like what they see and they're attracted, he's gonna go in for the kiss. Like, don't take away points from him because he didn't ask. Now, I know she has seen this before, either on Married at First Sight or at other weddings, where the groom asked the bride, may I kiss you? And I know she thought that was extremely sweet, but girl, It doesn't matter. So when they're at the reception and the guests, they do the clinking of the glass, wanting them to kiss, she hesitated. She didn't kiss him. And so Shaquille said that I know my wife is a virtuous woman, but I'm wondering what's making her hold back. If you only knew. If you only knew that I like to call her Miss 7 to 8. Now, I'm not talking about time, but she's virtuous. Shaq talks about, so he's talking to her bridesmaids, and the bridesmaids are not convinced that this is a good match for Kirsten. The verdict is still out. They haven't quite made up their minds, but after talking to him, they're like, we're not convinced, and we need to talk to him more, and we're going to grill him like ribs on a barbecue tomorrow. And, they're ready to tear him apart. They're basically, what that said to me was that they're going to find something to not like him, to make them not like him. That's what I'm thinking. Because even though y'all are not convinced, can you say anything positive? Oh, I think they did say something positive. I think one of them said that he had nice white teeth or something like that. Their reception seemed a whole lot of fun. Their reception, it just seemed like fun. When he took off her garter belt and he threw it, her little brother caught it. That reception looked like a whole bunch of fun. Shaquille really does believe that Kirsten was sent to him from God, because he kept on talking about how he was asking God for a sign, and all of a sudden, he's on this damn show with, marrying Kirsten. Kirsten said that her bridesmaids asked her, why didn't you kiss him on the lips? And she said there's 2 reasons why she didn't. Number 1, he has a bald head. Get over it. Number 2, because he didn't ask her if he could kiss her. See, this is y'all, look, sometimes you got to call a thing a thing. She's not attracted to him. It doesn't have anything to do with his bald head. It doesn't have anything to do with him not asking permission to kiss her at the altar. It's got nothing to do with that. She is not attracted to him. And she's bringing up these little stupid, silly excuses of why she's acting the way she's acting. You like what you like. I get it. You're attracted to it. But honey, instead of looking at the things that bother you, girl, look at the things that you actually like about him, and just enjoy him for what he is. Look at the things, compare him to how, it's not enough time has gone by for her to compare him to past relationships, but concentrate on the positives. Concentrate on the things that are actually working. Get over the bald head. Honey, you could be with a man today who's got an afro the size of 5 Jackson 5 members. Put all their afros together, okay? Girl, in a couple of years, all that hair is going to be gone anyway, sweetheart. Hair is not going to last forever. So if you get a man with a low cut or whatever the hell you were looking for, and then he starts balding, and then he gets tired of that bald spot, and he just wants to shave it all off. What you gonna do? Divorce him because now he's got a bald head? Kirsten says she's definitely not gonna consummate the marriage. She's not even sure if she's going to kiss him again. That's how difficult Kirsten is. So Shaquille, I don't know what you're going to do. You have a whole lot of work ahead of you. Because she's putting up walls left and right. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, do not forget to rate the video. If you like this content, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.